Pakistan has been bleeding India since 1947. It's fought wars, it has lost. It's used terror, it lost. Now it's combining its soldiers and terrorists to wage hybrid war against India. What are India's options? The opposition is now gunning for the Narendra Modi government. Says enough of Man Ki Baat, it's now time for Gun Ki Baat. What are India's options? We'll debate that. But first, let's take a look at the day's top developments.
Pakistan denies proof of 26/11 carnage. Denies Uri, Pathankot, and now Krishna Ghati.
The Foreign Secretary mentioned to the High Commissioner of Pakistan that we hope that as the High Commissioner of Pakistan, he would convey to his government the sense of outrage that exists in India on this particular incident. He of course denied that Pakistan Army was involved in any way in this incident.
Mutilates our brave soldiers, then dares to lecture us on Kashmir.
हम क्या इस बात से आश्वस्त हैं? क्या हमें यकीन है कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी के ही लोग थे? जी हाँ, हमें यकीन है और इसीलिए हमने, क्योंकि भारत सरकार कोई भी बात बिना पुख्ता जानकारी के नहीं कहेगी.
Is it time to bleed Pakistan without bullets, or enough of talk?
यदि आप सबक सिखानी चाहते हो तो पाकिस्तान के अस्तित्व को समाप्त करो, उसको चार टुकड़ा बनाने के लिए दीर्घकालीन योजना बनाओ. उसमें अल्पकालीन में जो भी उनकी सुविधा दी है, जैसे मोस्ट फेवर्ड नेशन क्लॉज, उनके साथ एम्बेसी खोल के, आज उस मंशा जिसने कश्मीरी पंडितों को भगाया उसको ठीक करने के लिए उस सारी एरिया को, यदि आप सारा स्टेट में प्रेसिडेंट रूल नहीं चाहते तो फिर इस एरिया को 355 में आप यानी डिस्टर्ब्ड एरिया कहकर उसमें आप डायरेक्ट प्रेसिडेंट रूल की स्थापना कर सकते हैं.
पंतप्रधानांना मला एक सांगायचे की तुम्ही जो एक नवा कायदा पाडलाय मन की बात, देशवासियांशी तुम्ही मन की बात करता, पण पाकड्यांशी आता मन की नाही गन की बात करा.
But does India have what it takes to put Pakistan on the mat?
As far as MFN status is concerned, it is a WTO obligation that all WTO members must extend to each other, and that's by India, that's not Pakistan specific.
India can delay it no longer. It's time for a permanent solution to fix the Pakistani thorn once and for all. Time to put India first.
It's time now to put India first. A government that will take strong decisions. They may or may not be popular. They may or may not make the leader look like a global statesman. But will it keep India first? Will it keep Indians safer? I want to cut across to India Today's editor, Shiv Arur, for more on the story. Shiv, what are India's options? What are steps that India can take, perhaps without war, and yet bleed Pakistan?
There's plenty that India can do, Gaurav, without actually firing a single bullet. There are diplomatic options. There are aggressive gestures that India can employ to put the pressure on Pakistan. Option number one, recall the Indian High Commissioner from Pakistan immediately. In its favor, it reiterates the no talks with terror policy. The con, of course, is it may hinder the process of reconciliation a little later. But this is among the easiest things we can actually do. Option number two, as far as teaching Pakistan a lesson, immediately declare them a terror state. MPs like Rajiv Chandrasekhar have been pushing that. Why hasn't it happened yet? The pro, strong message to the international community. They support India completely. But the con is, it's only a symbolic gesture. What can it really mean? Option number three, to teach Pakistan a lesson without firing a single gunshot, revoke revoke Pakistan's most favored nation status. People are exasperated about why this hasn't happened just yet. It would be a big economic setback for Pakistan, but it would be difficult under WTO regulations. And finally, option number 4 to teach Pakistan a lesson would be abrogate the Indus Water Treaty. This is a little bit more tricky, but it would cut Pakistan's lifeline, but it would leave India vulnerable to a similar act by China. So there are options for India to put the pressure on Pakistan without resorting to any violent aggression or war.
Clearly, there are steps India can take, India must take, India should take. I want to bring in GVL Narasimha Rao. He is the BJP spokesperson on the broadcast this evening. Shama Mohammed of the Congress Party and Jaydev Ranade, former Special Secretary of the Research and Analysis Wing. We have no Pakistanis on this broadcast. We keep India first, and we have to find one common solution that India must exercise, and the nation must be on the same page. GVL Narasimha Rao, India summons Pakistan's envoy, gives him proof of Pakistan's complicity in mutilating our soldiers. GVL Narasimha Rao, when Pakistan took no action after 26/11 with all the proof against non-state actors, when Pakistan took no action against Pathankot perpetrators, non-state actors, what gives BJP the confidence, or the government the confidence, that Pakistan will take action against state actors, its own army, an act cleared by its own chief, sir?
No, Gaurav Sawant, we are not expecting Pakistan to accept it. On the contrary, they have already denied it, even without perusing information that has been made available to them. So, but this is a part of the drill that you have to go through. When you want to expose Pakistan, you have to present evidence that is available at your command, and so that Pakistan cannot simply get away with straight-faced denials. But this is a process, a diplomatic routine and a drill that you have to go through. You're not waiting for Pakistan to accept it, and their refusal has absolutely no credibility whatsoever. That's what I see on your screen, Defense Minister making a similar statement. But at the same time, we have to go through all the processes. The range of options that you are talking about are already under the consideration of the government. In the aftermath
there was motion of action. Sir, so you pretended, so there was motion that the government is doing something, even though the government and the party knows it will yield no positive result. Shama Mohammed, you've done that many times in the past. The Congress did that, the BJP did that. India needs to be safer. How will Indians be safer? Shama Mohammed, is this just motions that the government is undertaking with no positive results at the end of it, ma'am?
See, Gaurav, when we were there, we had a policy. There was a policy, there was engagement, there was diplomacy, there was talks, there was a direction. You have to understand, we have had in the last 3 years 1,343 LOC line of control skirmishes. When we were there, it was not that much. It was just 300. So you have to understand is when you don't have a policy, how do you sort this thing out? I mean, continuous deaths, continuous mutilation, 200 Jawans died. And also you have to understand this is another problem is Kashmir. This is all intermingled together. If Kashmir is also not sorted out, we are going to have a problem over here. So first and foremost, we should have a policy towards Pakistan. If you do not have a policy towards Pakistan, you will have continuous. Why did we reach this stage is the question. Why did we have to have, after all this Pampor, Nagrot, I mean after demonetization,
I am sorry, we had a 26/11 on the Congress watch. We had a 26/11 on the Congress watch. Ma'am, it's not the political mudslinging I'm interested in. I'm interested in solid solutions to keep India. But it did not. No, ma'am. But we still had a Lance Naik Hemraj beheaded even after that. We had a Lance Naik Hemraj beheaded even after that. We've had repeated terror attacks even after that.
Banks in Kashmir.
Okay. Okay,
We had
Jaidev
there was
Ranade,
dialogue,
it
there
is
was a lull in
not
the
this
terror
political
attacks, not like
mudslinging
what
that I'm
we have had in
interested
the
in on
last 3
India first. Madam, lull does not mean an end. Lull, no, we are looking for solutions, not containment. Jaidev Ranade, something needs to be done that will send a message across. I'm not interested in a Congress versus BJP versus Congress blame game. What are solutions that India must undertake? Solutions that India must take? Sir, the government in opposition used to say withdraw most favored nation status from Pakistan. Today they say WTO. When Pakistan does not care about WTO and give India MFN, what is India's desperation to give Pakistan MFN, sir? Jaidev Ranade?
Quite true. Actually, you have this incident and your question have raised two, I think, central issues. The first is, what should we do to make Pakistan take us seriously? And let's be quite clear that for the last many years, it has not bothered about what kind of retaliation we might be planning or we might implement. So obviously they're not worried about what we will do, and we have to first remedy that. We have to do something which signals to Pakistan that they will not be allowed to carry on such activity with impunity. And here I would say the first thing is, let us take the step of declaring it as a terror state. The second is, we must mete out to them a punishment which is signal, which will get home to them the point that we are going to stand up for our interest. And incidentally, let me complete that the international community also needs to know that there is a limit beyond which India cannot be pushed. It is only then that we will be taken seriously. Otherwise, we'll have all kinds of people promising to meddle in our internal affairs like China just did in Kashmir.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Donald Trump made that point. Of course, India rejected it. China made that point. India rejected, of course, the Chinese media there. And so did the Turkish president. Again, India says no third-party mediation. But GVL Narasimha Rao, why is MFN withdrawal not an option to send home a signal? If Pakistan does not give India most favored nation status, what is India's desperation that we cannot withdraw it, sir?
No, I think you will have to also understand, I think we are not here to take cosmetic steps. I think what is the trade, what is the level of trade between the two countries? It is hardly anything to even write home about. It's not even 1/3 of 1 percentage point. I think it's really it's not adequate at all. And in fact, if you look at the export and import, the trade balance is also in our favor. So we don't want to take merely steps to only to have cosmetic value. Whatever surgical strikes were certainly a very, very firm response from our military side. And Pakistan was in denial and accepting it, whereas the whole world rallied behind us. The whole world said it was this was a step taken by India and India deserved to do it. So certainly we are building pressure on. Today the whole world community acknowledges India's right to really retaliate. And going into territory of Pakistan and retaliate and raise the costs on them. So we have already in September,
in surgical strikes, and by indulging in these acts of barbarity, and that hasn't made India any safer. So Shama Mohammed, does the Congress party, but Shama Mohammed, any concrete solutions in your opinion or in the Congress party's scheme of things that should be exercised by the Narendra Modi government?
See, our advice would be to call an all-party meet. Since we know how to govern, we know what is foreign policy, and since they do not know, let them have an all-party meet. We will come in and give them advice on how to go about this. This just cannot go on. Every day we are having a Jawan killed. Every time after the demonetization, after surgical strikes, we thought everything was going to go down. That was promised to us. But it's become worse. And not only that, they go to a civilian, not just civilian areas, fortified army camps. They're getting into fortified army camps and killing. So you have to understand, Kashmiris are helping them. Kashmir is burning. Unless and until you quench the burning in Kashmir, young boys and girls are throwing stones now, which never happened in the 90s. They are not scared to die. It's a mix of Wahhabism
I disagree with
and
you.
plus
I disagree with the point that
alienation of the
Kashmiris are
Kashmiris.
helping
Everywhere else they are
Pakistanis.
pushed out. So it's a
I'm
complete
sure you
mix
may
in
want to
which they have to
reconsider
work
that.
towards Kashmir
You
to
may
stop the
want
whole
to.
thing.
Okay.
There should be dialogue.
Okay. 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 GVL Narasimha Rao wants to respond to you.
Can I comment?
Go ahead,
I think
Mr.
the Congress
Narasimha Rao.
party, I think, is responsible for. I think the Congress party must stop behaving in an immature fashion. I think they should send spokespersons who are serious and who understand the subject. I think the Congress party and their governments were responsible for all the mess that you have. And the comparison, if I were to compare their first 3 years in office in the UPA, they were simply bad. I think the Congress doesn't know, and they want to play politics over Pakistan policy.
What was
and they
bad?
seem to be
Tell us what
actually
is bad.
relishing at the
GVL, I
prospect
want
of
you to tell me
every
what is
attack
bad.
across the border.
No rhetorics.
And they
But-
seem to be speaking the voice
Okay.
of Pakistan.
No rhetorics, GVL. No
You are
rhetorics.
speaking the voice of
It is again
Pakistan.
becoming a
We have
slanging
policy
match,
in
and that is
Pakistan.
exactly what I don't want.
Stop being
Not
anti-India.
a slanging match, but I want concrete
Don't
solutions.
indulge in this pyrrhic
Concrete,
ecstasy.
concrete solutions here on the broadcast, please,
indulging in
ladies and
pyrrhic
gentlemen.
ecstasy.
Okay, sir and ma'am, please, we want, no, sir, we must all learn to keep India first, and Jaidev Rana Day. War, we all know, is not an option. War is not an option. Sir, can I please, Shama Mohammed, please, Shama Mohammed, can we please have concrete solutions? Can I please have concrete solutions and not mudslinging and name-calling Congress versus BJP on the broadcast, please? At this point of time, Jaidev Rana Day, Indus Water Treaty. Now we are not saying abrogate it, we are saying harness it completely. Concrete steps on ground. Or what Subramaniam Swamy says, if Pakistan bleeds India, India should bleed Pakistan. Is that doable? Is that possible? Will that be a deterrent? Or not playing sports with Pakistan, not having cultural ties with Pakistan? What will work in your opinion, sir?
I think we need tougher measures. Indus Water Treaty, let's leave it aside for the moment. I think we'll need some time before we are able to do what we want to do. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, right now we have to act. And I think if we declare it to be a terrorist state, automatically a series of things will kick in which will apply the pressure on them. It will isolate them. It will also prevent a lot of interaction that goes on between India and Pakistan, which will be stopped. The second thing, I think today we are at a stage where we cannot escape inflicting some kind of damage on Pakistan that will give them pause for consider.
Yes.
Well, I'm not talking about going to war, but I'm certainly talking about administering them a sharp lesson through whatever means, and I think the means are quite apparent. It has to be done, and let me say again that that is the only time when the world will sit up and take notice that India is standing up for itself.
Okay. Okay. GVL Narasimha Rao, does the government have the stomach to take those hard decisions diplomatically, politically, and also on ground? No one's saying go to war with Pakistan. War is not an option. But between this no war, no peace, between bleeding at the hands of Pakistan-sponsored terror, there must be steps that the government is prepared to take, and not just talk about one surgical strike that was carried out in September, sir.
True, but then that surgical strike certainly had an impact, immediate impact. The ceasefire violations, the infiltrations have subsequently, in the months after surgical strikes, have shown a drastic decline. Because prior to that, the infiltrations were at a very high.
Very briefly, it's worse
we
again.
We need to really reply to them, retaliate to them. We need to indulge in. We have to ensure a retribution. No, I think we'll have to understand, you have a recalcitrant neighbor who is not going to keep quiet whatever you do, but we have to continuously put pressure on them. We have to expose them in the eyes of the international world. And only a few months ago, I don't know why media is forgetting it, only a few months ago we isolated them in the entire SAARC region. No country was willing to even travel to Islamabad to attend an annual conference of SAARC, and every country rallied behind us, including China. No one questioned our right to carry out surgical strikes right into the territory of Pakistan. So I think we have had major successes, and we have been putting pressure on Pakistan.
But you know, so are those small steps past their sell-by date?
Until they end their encouragement for terror.
Okay.
Gaurav.
Okay, but did we have our foot off the pedal somewhere down the line? Yes, Shama Mohammed, closing comments to you. 30 seconds, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 30 seconds.
Yeah. What I want to say is that, what he said is just after surgical strike, there was a lull. We had Nagrota and we had Pampur just after that. Now, this is what their rhetorics have to stop, and we need firm action. We are with the Prime Minister for a firm and decisive action. Under their watch, China has an economic corridor in POK. China is getting closer to Russia. USA is telling us, that what is happening in Kashmir. So this is...
Okay. The UN can be ignored on Kashmir completely, ma'am. That's where India needs to take one strong line. But I completely agree with you. Instead of rhetoric, instead of words, it's time for action on ground. GVL Narasimha Rao, Shama Mohammed and Jaydev Ranade for the moment. Many thanks for joining me here from the Poonch landing ground, the advanced landing ground. This is very symbolic because 70 years ago, this was the area where India saved Poonch by the skin of our teeth in the nick of time when that aircraft landed. It's that same state once again. We need to save Jammu and Kashmir from Pakistan-sponsored terror. We need to bring our heads together, take a hard resolve and fight. Many thanks for watching.